How you guys doing tonight?
Hey, we're about to get heated up.
Hey, Shalom family, Most High Christ bless.
Shalom, shalom. Hey, Dallas, you able to read?
Yes, sir. I'm here for y'all.
Okay, all praise, all praise. All praise. So, tonight's topic. Negro, Afro American. Why so many names? Why have our people had so many names since we've been on this side of the earth? That's tonight's topic. You are tuned into Biblical Smoke. If you don't know, you got 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner. Those are the rules. All right. So, follow the moderators. You see the moderators with the green dots. If you have questions, we don't get to you have questions throughout the night. You can email us at biblicalsmoke@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter, #BiblicalSmoke. All right, we're going to get the topic going while we bring some people up on the stage. Samurai, what you got to say about this topic?
Talking with my mic off. It's a very interesting topic, because if you notice, it's funny that topic is my picture is exactly the topic. It's a Negro standing in front of a billboard, looking at all the different names that was given to us in the different eras. You see what I'm saying? So the question is, it's not just why so many names, but why every decade our name got changed.
Yeah, that's a good point. Why does our name continue to get changed? It's a sign that we were given. But you have to read history. You gotta understand prophecy to start to get the answers. And the men on stage, we're gonna provide that through the evening. So we're gonna continue to bring some men up. EJ, what do you think about the topic tonight?
Man, it's crazy. Going back to what Samurai said, honestly, it is something that our people don't even consider or notice a lot of the times, that every 10 years or every couple years, our our identity change, to we're something else. And then to think about it, a lot of people are older than the nationality that they claim. That's crazy as hell. You know what I mean? That's crazy to me. But our people don't even consider.
Yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy. So you telling me somebody might be in their late 40s, 50s, 60s, or older than their nationality?
Yeah, that's crazy. And they don't even think about it. Afro American or whatever. All these names. You're older than that, but you go by it. That's.
Hey, welcome, Mish. What's going on?
Hey, shalom, brother. How y'all feeling?
Good.
Yeah, we ready for another interesting night. What do you think about that topic? Negro, Afro American? Because, there's some people that say, like, I'll just use nigga. That's a term of endearment. But there are others that say, I don't use that. I never use that name. So we even have within our own community split decisions on these terms.
Well, it just show you that we'll destroy our people. For us to have that many uh, names, that just let us know we don't know who we are. We can ask 5 black people what's your nationality, and we're gonna get 5 different answers. So it just tell you the mindset of our people that we don't know our nationality, we don't know who we are, we don't know where we came from, like it said in Isaiah 1:3. So it's sad, but all praise to the Most High. The word is going forth, and people are starting to wake up and realize who they are, but so many people still don't know who they is. So that's why, biblical smoke is so important for us to bring it out, show our people who they are, so they can stop calling themselves these bywords. Amira.
Hey, I like that. Let's pull that scripture up you quoted, Isaiah 1 and 2.
Yes, sir. The book of Isaiah. Sorry. The book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider.
You say that? So that didn't say that the Arab doesn't know. That verse didn't say the East Indian or the African doesn't know. It said Israel don't know. My people does not consider. And so a lot of our people, we call ourselves African American or Afro American. We don't know that our true nationality is the Israelites. Even in 2021, it's a lot of people that are just now coming into that understanding of who they are. But yet, we have been searching for our identity for a long time. One of the things that we use to try to search out our identity is what's that? Was it 23andMe, the DNA test? That's one of those ways that we try to figure out who we are. But what does the Bible say about that? While we wait to get some people on, Dallas, can you get that in Deuteronomy 28:29?
Yes, sir.
And those of you that have got comments, questions, raise your hand. We will pull you up on stage. We would love to hear what you have to say. We'd love to hear some of your experiences, if you got any, of being called outside your name. Because I dare say it's happened to all of us. Yeah, let's get that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness. And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee.
So that groping at noonday as the blind grope in darkness. We're trying to find our way. We're trying to figure out who we are. We come up with many doctrines. Well, we was conquered by the white man, so we all mixed breeds. I know y'all have heard similar doctrines to that. I'm sure EJ, Mish, Samurai.
Yes, sir. I've been called nigga so many times now. Funny. Um, something heavy. Um, if you reread Isaiah 1 and 3 again.
Yes, sir.
There's some heavy in this chapter right there.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib.
Mm-hmm.
But Israel doth not know.
So two of the dumbest animals. Like I grew up in the island. One thing about an ass, you could take that ass like somewhere far. Once you let him go, he's coming right back home. Might take him a few days, but for some reason he finds his way back home to his master. And an ox, you let him loose all day in the yard, he ain't going anywhere because he know who his master is. You follow? He's a loyal animal. But us, we don't know. But pay attention to this next part right here.
My people doth not consider.
My people doth not consider. We don't even have it in our mind to even consider. Could it be possible that I am Israel? You follow? Now, why is it that we don't even consider? Give me Daniel 9:7.
The book
Why
of
is
Daniel.
that we don't even consider? Read that.
The book of Daniel, chapter 9 and verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces.
Unto us, confusion of faces. We're all confused people. We don't know who we are. Not only we don't know who we are, we confused about every aspect of our lives. Like we were savages, natives, niggas, darkies. I mean, you name it. We had all those different names. It's like, yo, we confused. So how did it get to this? How did we become so confused where we don't even know where we at? Like many a time, you guys who teach in the street can testify to this. You have a group of people in front of you and you ask, what's your nationality? One will say, I'm black. One will say, I'm African American. The other one will say, I'm human. One will say, I'm from Africa. You ask him, where in Africa? What tribe? He doesn't know. So how can you have the same people standing in front of you, right? And each one of them will give you a different answer. And if you throw some, how you say, Northern Kingdom or the brothers from the island in the mix, one will say I'm Haitian, one will say I'm Puerto Rican, and so forth and so on. But we all one and the same people. So why are we so confused about who we are? Somebody played a trick on us. Because think about this for a second. Is there a country named Israel today? Anybody? Answer the question.
Absolutely.
So we all were born, most of us, right? I don't know if anybody online is born before 1949, but I would assume that we all young. We're gonna say everybody's young. We were born knowing that there's a country named Israel. So if we were born knowing that there's a country named Israel, and a people named Israelis, or the Jewish people, why would we even consider being born in Haiti, being so proud of taking your independence in 1804, so forth and so on? Why would you even consider that you might be Israel? You see the trick? Our name have been changed. And we grew up in places where we're very proud of the names that we were given. So that's why we don't even consider. So go to Psalm real quick. 83.
Yes, sir. The book of Psalms, chapter 83.
Start at verse 2. You can start at 1. But the point
The
is in
book of
3.
yes. The book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 1. God standeth in the congregation of the mighty.
Psalm 83 verse 1.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was 82. My fault.
Oh.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O God.
So we're making that prayer to the Lord God to not keep silent. Why? Because if the Lord was to keep silent, we were done. We're done as a people. Ain't no coming back for us. So we're begging the Lord to say something because there's something happening. And all praise to the Most High. Lord is answering our prayers because guess what? The truth is going out. The water has been risen. So our people coming back to who they are. Read.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Now hold up. God has enemies. But if you ask the average Christian, who's your enemy, he'll say Tyrone down the block. Or that dude that robbed him in the 3rd grade for his lunch money. You follow what I'm saying? Now, sidebar. How can you have enough sense to know a guy who robbed you is not really your friend? Granted, that's your brother, so we're not going to go in that aspect. I'm just using that to make a point. If you have enough sense to know a person that robbed you is not your friend, why you don't have enough sense to understand that the so-called white man who enslaved you is not your friend and robbed you of everything?
Bring it out.
Like, you see how messed up our mind is? You look at Tyrone who robbed you from 3rd grade till the 9th grade, right? So you say that's your enemy. What about the dude that's been robbing you since your grandmama was alive? Way before your grandmama. Robbed your whole family of everything they have. But you have enough sense to know Tyrone. You can't par with Tyrone because he keep robbing you. But you see the white man as Jesus. That's just a point I just wanted to throw out there. We could build on that later, but let me finish making the original point. Read.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They're taking the enemies of God. They cannot touch God. They sat down and made and concocted a crafty counsel against God's people. They didn't do it against everybody in the world, but against God's people. So to show you there's a big difference between the people of the world and God's chosen people. And that plays a big role about why you don't know your name today. Read.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
We're the one that's hidden because we don't know who we are. Read.
They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
There we have it right there. So the crafty counsel, one of the crafty counsels, that we could stay on this forever. One of the crafty counsels is that we're going to cut them off from being a nation. That means what? Divide and conquer. We're going to create little countries out of them. We're going to rename them and we're going to make sure they forgot that they are Israel. We're going to give them different names, and to make it, this is where the craftiness comes into play. We're going to create a nation named Israel so they themselves could never even wonder or consider that there might be Israel. You see the crafty counsel? So when you look at Isaiah 1 and 3, that's why I said they don't even consider. It's hard for us to even consider. You follow what I'm saying? Like, I kid you not, like, this truth, it still blows my mind. Like, I'm like, yo, when Bishop is bringing out certain things, books is coming out, I'm like, that's not going into that consider. Like, you know, what pops in your mind that makes you, you know what I'm saying? Go into those search. Man, thank the Lord for the prophets of the Most High God. I'm gonna stop right there from now. I want to build on or give any comment. I don't want to keep running with the time.
No, that was some good stuff. See, we got the divine feminine. You got Thomas, Chief Divine.
Yes.
What do you think about tonight's topic?
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it was prophecy fulfilled. Israel forgetting their heritage. That was one of the prophecies fulfilled because we broke the law of the Lord and we wasn't being disobedient. So one of the consequences for being disobedient to the Lord thy God was forgetting thine heritage that he gave us, which was stated in, I think, Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. It says, and thou, even thyself, shalt...
We'll read it. We'll read it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
Yeah, so I just think it was a consequence for Israel for being disobedient to the Lord. Going back to the topic of why we have so many different names and, like, you know, nigger, Negro, African American.
So what about when other races used nigger and they you know they might be friends with somebody black? What you think?
What do I think about it? I just think it's just pure ignorance. I mean, that was another thing being mocked. The children of God, the Israelites, the nation, the chosen nation of God, being mocked by the Gentiles or other nations. That's just, you know, ignorance, pure jealousy from the beginning. So that's nothing new. Since the beginning of time, we've been mocked by different nations, different races. So that's what I think about it.
All right, sis. Thomas, welcome to the stage. What do you think about the topic, Thomas?
Man, it's awesome. Yeah. As I was looking back on some of my ancestors in the census, I know they used to call my grandmother them. I think they started out with Indian, and then they said mulattoes, and then they said niggas, blacks, Negro, different names, and I can uh, see why they kind of did that to keep us separated in a sense. And as I was remember, I'm a little older guy, so I remember kind of back in the day, and some of the crafty counsels they were using was integration. I think in the early '60s we were kind of coming to understand who we were. We probably really didn't know, but we know we wasn't the same as them. But and then in the '70s, early '70s or late '60s, they started integration to try to keep us fooled and giving us different education and stuff like that. And and that's my take on on some of that stuff.
So how did that integration? How did that affect us, Thomas? From what?
Well, I didn't go to an integrated school, so but as the next class came after me, they was having a lot of problems, fighting and stuff like that. But I think the more they uh, uh, went into it, black people uh, got used to it, and then they start, believing that that they can get along and stuff like that. But I never thought it would happen.
Hey, let me say something on that real quick, because that's a heavy point. Real quick, get Psalms 94:20, because he said, they with the integration, all the different laws that they passed. We know that the white man did those things to destroy our people, right? We tried to fight for integration and being on the same page, and all the laws and all the things that were given were things that ultimately destroyed our people, right? Read that scripture real quick.
The book of Psalms, chapter 94 and verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth...
The throne of iniquity is talking about Esau. It's talking about the wicked, right? It says, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee? Read.
Which frameth mischief by a law?
Which frameth mischief by a law. Because when they started with the integration and all these different things that they set, that's when those different redlining laws went in, and all the other policies and laws that they put in against us, right? So while we integrated, it got worse. That's why even Dr. Martin Luther King, after he did all that trying to get us integrated, once he realized the evil that he was dealing with, and near the end of his life, he realized we were integrating into a burning house. He's actually quoted saying that he knows that our people was going to be destroyed trying to integrate with this demon, with this devil. You know what I mean? So what you're saying is heavy, because they use those laws to try to destroy us, especially when they see that we're trying to get closer to being who we are and knowing who we are.
Right.
Yeah.
I also noticed that my teachers back in the day had the opportunity to teach us some things, but they didn't, and I didn't know why. I didn't understand why come they didn't go into depth into slavery and stuff like that. I did take some Negro history and crap like that, but it wasn't on the same level that I thought it should have been.
What do you mean by that? It wasn't on the same level as you thought it should have been. What do you?
Well, what I know now, uh, it seemed like our teachers should have went in depth on some of this stuff, biblically at least, because we all supposed to be. I mean, we should have been pretty religious back in the day. But I guess the churches and things, they just never did teach us anything like that. And especially the teachers, being in an all-black school, you would expect that.
So Thomas, you got a little bit of age on you. I want to ask you something. You ever heard the term when people say the school started changing when they took religion out of the school, or when they took the Bible out of the school? You ever heard that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay. So when going back up your question or your comment, when did they ever teach us what our true nationality was in the school system? They never did that, right?
No, they never did that, and never did that in church either. And I didn't go to church very much because it was just something about that white man, looking at that white man, and I just thought, hell, I don't want to go to heaven if that pecker was up there.
Right. So when they talk about taking the Bible out of the school system, we was always taught to be Negroes in the school system, whether they was trying to use biblical references or not. So, all right, Chief Dewar, what do you think? Welcome to the stage.
Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Excellent.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I was trying to connect my earpiece. But giving all praises to the Most High of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. The topic is a beautiful topic. I was going to ask you, I don't know if y'all did it because I came in kind of late, but the Leviticus 26, starting like at the 14th verse to the end, give you a great detail of why all these names is placed on us. You know, uh, we going through prophecies. You know, whether you just finding out, whether you just now understanding it. A lot of people got it right in front of them and don't know. You know, once the Most High removed that sealant from over your eyes, you able to see what's going on with you as well as with your own people. Um, if you could go to Leviticus 26 for me, that would be beautiful. You know, I see I was reading from the 15th verse, or you can start from the 14th. Uh, this is a testament to what's happening and what's going on even now.
Okay. What am I reading? 26 and 14.
Yeah,
Okay. To where?
to about the 25th verse.
Hold on a second, Chief. That's a lot of reading.
Nah,
Just
I mean,
point out the,
well,
the
yeah,
key verses you're trying to get to.
if you start from there, you could kind of, anybody could pick up and read it themselves, and they would get an understanding of it. But you could read like the first two verses.
Okay. The book of Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 14. But if you will not hearken unto me, and will not do all these commandments, and if ye shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that ye will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant, I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning ague, that shall consume the eyes and cause sorrow of heart. And ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it.
Okay, go ahead.
Can't read the next verse too.
Verse 17. And I will set my face against you, and ye shall be slain before your enemies. They that hate you shall reign over you, and ye shall flee when none pursueth you.
Now, if anyone wants to read the rest of them verses, everything that you're gonna be talking about is gonna be in those verses, and it's plain. It's almost like saying, "I witnessed someone getting hit by a car that ran the red light." You know what happens if somebody get hit by a car. You know why the limbs is broke. You know why they're in the hospital, why they're in the emergency room. When you read that chapter, you will understand all the names we've been called, from coon, nigga, spook, to black. All of these are bywords. Afro, hairstyle. to African American. Everything but the name, that's our name. So the name depicts who you are, what you are, where you coming from, where you at, and where you going. And because our people confuse the name, they keep running into dead walls. But once you realize who you are and what you are, then you could do better. But until you're able to do that, you're going to be called every name under the sun.
Right. Hey, so let's see. We got Zeke, we got Judd, we got Brother Wisdom on the stage.
Hey, what's going on, man? Y'all can hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, Judd.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know what y'all was talking about. Sounded like somebody was eating while they was talking. It was crazy. What's reset the room? What we talking about tonight?
Hey, so we talking about how many times our names have changed from nigga to Negro, African American. Why so many name changes?
Hey,
That's
man,
the topic of the night, Judd.
it sounds like they trying to keep something from us. They trying to keep us something secret. Hey, like a lot of us, we call ourselves African American, but then when you think about when that title was given to us, a lot of us are older than that name. We older than our nationality. It should be something to tell our people. We should realize that there's a lot of money being put in and a lot of thought being put into hiding who we really are. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when we figure out who we are, a change is coming.
A change is coming. That what you sound like you're singing a song, man. I think
Nah. Like they know. Hey, I feel the scripture, but they know. Like you said, why are you trying to hide what our true nationality is? Because they know exactly who we are, to the point where they would steal our identity because they understand the power in the name, and they understand that when we start operating under the laws and the commandments of the Lord, that their rulership is going to come to an end. So you got to hide our identity. You got to hide everything that's attached to who we are. That's what I mean.
Yeah, nah, I'm just messing with you. Where everybody at? Well, nobody trying to come up.
Yeah, shalom. Most High Christ bless. Yeah, there was a brother who was singing poetry at first before you, Judge.
He was.
He was
I don't
giving
know
a
what
lot of
that brother
poetry.
was doing. He was like talking and sounded like he was sucking on a lollipop or something. It was crazy. I was like, who is this?
Hey, if I may say something, as you guys mentioned, our name's been hidden from us for a reason. You see, if we knew our name, certain scriptures would have made more sense to us. You follow?
Amen.
First thing first, let go to Genesis 35 and 10. Let's establish our name. Then, after that, we're going to go to Luke. Because not knowing our name, when you ask the pastor, who am I? Oh, you're not in the Bible. You're just a Gentile. So when you read certain scriptures, like, it doesn't resonate with your spirit because you were taught your whole life you're nobody. You're just a Gentile. You're not even in the Bible. Read that. Genesis 35 and 10.
The book of Genesis, chapter 35 and verse 10. And God said unto him, Thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name.
So Jacob's name was changed into Israel. So Jacob had 12 sons, and we are those 12 sons, so we became the Israelites, right? So if we knew that from the get, go to Luke 1. Go to Luke 1 and start at verse 68.
The book of Luke, chapter 1 and verse 68. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel.
Stop. If you knew your name was Israel, and you're reading, because a lot of Christians, they may not understand the Bible, but a lot of them have read I would say, the New Testament. You see what I'm saying? They've read the first chapter of Luke, even if they didn't go through the whole chapter, the whole book. They've read this. but it never clicked with their brain because they're the Gentiles. So when they read this, oh, okay, the God of Israel, yeah, he came, he was an Israelite, yada yada yada, but that has nothing to do with me. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel. So that alone will let you know he's not the God of everybody. So you would understand that you have a special relationship with the Lord God. Read.
For he hath visited and redeemed his people.
So again, you're like, oh damn, I'm Israel. I'm going through hell. And Christ came to redeem his people. So who is people? Israel. Read.
And hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David.
So again, the us is dealing with Israel. So when you read this whole all the way down, it keeps talking about that saving Israel, us, we, Israel. Keep reading.
As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began.
So hold up. As you read this, you're like, okay, I'm Israel. And he said he spoke by the mouth of his prophets. Hold up. Every prophet in the Bible is an Israelite. Hold up. There's something going on here. Every prophet is Israel. He's the God of Israel. Oh, damn. I'm an Israelite, so everything is for me. But because you were called Gentile, because you were taught that you were not in the Bible, it's hard for the scripture to resonate with your spirit. Read.
That we should be saved from our enemies.
There you go. That we should be saved from our enemy. From a Christian reading this is like, oh, okay, the Israelis were saved under the hand of Hitler. You know what I'm saying? Then they won't see themselves there. But if they knew they were the Israelites, like, oh, damn, I have an enemy. My name has been changed over and over by my enemy. I've been robbed of everything that I have by my enemy. So, oh, Christ came to save me. Thank God I'm an Israelite. But if you don't know who you are, certain scriptures will never make sense to you. I'm on mute.
Yeah, hey, shalom, family, Most High Christ. Hey, listen, let's get the one, I think it's in Psalm. Where you go? About the nation, cut the name of Israel off. It may not be a nation. Yeah.
Yes, sir. The book of Psalms, chapter 83, and verse, I started verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
For lo, thine enemies make, the book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Niggers.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
You see that thing? The name, cut them off from being a nation. The name of Israel will not be in there, remember. They may not remember their name. You understand? Let's cut them off. So that's what the brother just was talking about earlier. You understand? The name Israel, that's where the problem began. Let's see what the name means, Israel. What is the name Israel? Why they want to cut the name Israel off? What the name mean? To those that are going to inherit that last name Israel, what the name really mean? Go ahead.
The book of Genesis, chapter 32 and verse 28. Mm-hmm. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel.
Mm-hmm.
For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and has prevailed.
That's what the name mean. All right, read it again.
And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel.
Mm-hmm.
For as a prince, thou hast power with God.
See, that's what the name means. As a prince, they have power. They have power with God. So they don't want us to join with our God. So they will cut the name off. They will cut us off to be a nation because we are the children of the Most High. So we have to connect it to the Most High. So as long as they cut us off, we don't know who we are. We're going to be under all type of demonic religion, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Mother's Day, Father's Day. Those are the the spirit that we're gonna inherit in this earth. The spirit of Christmas, I mean, which is a demonic spirit. Spirit of homosexual, which is another demonic spirit. Spirit of lying, which is another demonic spirit. The spirit of pimp hustling. Those are demonic spirit. As long they keep you away from your own inherit name, guess what? You're gonna follow any type of wicked things out here, because when you don't know who you are, you don't know where you're from, you don't know your identity, you don't know nothing about you. So they're gonna call you any type of names to keep you away from your true name. Mute my mic.
All right. Let's see. We got Zeke. Zeke, we skipped over you. What you got to say about the topic? Negro, African Americans. Why so many names, Zeke?
Shalom, leadership, Most High Christ bless. I was trying to stay in the audience when I seen you, but I'm all right. I'm just at work. I'm soaking up the knowledge, sharpening my sword, upgrading my precept book, just listening to y'all double honors. So just please put me back in the audience because I already know who I am.
Yeah. You see that humble spirit? You see that humble spirit that brother have? That's why we hope all y'all that's come up here, I mean, you'll grab a pen and a notebook. You put these verses down. I mean, at first you might, a lot of times you guys don't understand. When you first come up here, you understand, then you listen to these brothers that studying days and night, that read this Bible, that apply this Bible. Please bring a notebook. Please bring a pen. Please bring the King James, because that's what they call it. People go smoke. You understand? That's what God allowed you to be in this platform for a reason. You understand? Then you may learn something. But if you already think you know something, you're not gonna learn anything, because you're gonna come with a resistant spirit, thinking that we're against you when we're not against you. We're for you. You are our family. So be very mindful. Shalom.
Yes, sir. Dion, welcome to the stage, Dion. You got something to add?
Hey,
Title.
shalom, family. I'm in the process of doing some work. Just listening in for now. But most not quite good.
Yeah, where that Dion is playing game, man. Where that Dion, where you at, man? We waiting for you, bro. Where you at?
Hey, it's heavy right now, Dick. It's heavy.
Jabriel, what's going on? Got the muted, so we're gonna go on and go to you. What's going on?
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Leadership Shalom, Most High Christ bless. I'm at work right now, just listening along, taking this in, man. Doing what the other brother doing, just filling up my precept book.
All right. Gonna drop you back to the audience. Hey, Yosef, what's going on, Yosef?
Hey, what's going on, Kim? What's going on, leadership? Shalom, y'all. Most High Christ bless. Hey, y'all have a pretty interesting title tonight. I think y'all gonna get a lot of people coming in here that's proud to be an Afro American. That's what I think.
Yeah, you know, I asked a question earlier. I'm gonna ask you, Yosef, right quick. I asked a question earlier. So, if you on your job, and I know a lot of us have probably been through this, where you get some kind of derogatory joke, by one of your Caucasian, or maybe another nation co-workers, trying to fill you out. Them using those terms that they put on us, that we used for each other, like nigga. They try to justify, well, why can't I call you that if you call yourselves that? What do you think about that?
Hold on 1 second. Got the crying baby. Hold on 1 second. All right. So what I think about that? Oh dang. Oh, you already know. Hold on. Give me a second. Got the spit up going on. Hold on 1 second.
Hey, Judge.
She got good timing. That's all I gotta say. Hold on.
Man, pass
Judge,
the
what you
baby,
think
man.
about that?
Hey, what y'all say?
Nah, I'm waiting on you.
All right, cool. Nah, so if so the funny thing is, back before before I came to understand the truth, that actually, they were talking about like their heritage in the office, right? They're like, I'm Scottish, I'm this, I'm that, and then they looked at me in the doorway. It's like, oh, we know about your history. Like, what the what the hell that supposed to mean? But yeah, that was when I was starting to get into the understanding. But yeah, how I would deal with that, man, is like, at this point, I don't really talk to a whole bunch of Edomites on a job like that, to be honest. To where they gonna put me in a situation like that. But you just walk around proud as hell, because guess what? We were first called niggers in the Bible. You know what I mean? So it just confirming the curses. That's how I see it.
Yeah, let's get that in Acts 13. Now, the reason I'm asking you that is because a lot of times, especially if you have positions where there's not many brothers and sisters that look like you on the job, it's like you always got to defend the whole nation of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, because I'm definitely in that type of environment almost all the damn time.
You got that, Dallas?
Yes, sir. The book of Acts, chapter 13 and verse 1. Now, there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger.
You see that? So that is a biblical term, okay? Because we are the Israelites. We are dark-skinned people. Let's get that in Jeremiah 14. Let's get the color of the real Jews, because they want to keep us away from our true nationality, right? By renaming us, reclassifying us, keeping us confused and lost. But what does God say? And what do we have to come back to the understanding of?
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 14 and verse 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground.
You see that? The Jews are black. And some would say, well, that's just the condition. Yeah, but who are the people in that condition? The so-called blacks and Hispanics. Let's get that in wisdom. Let me get that in Job 30 and 30. Let's get that in Job 30 and 30.
The book of Job, chapter 30 and verse 30. My skin is black upon me.
You see that? Job said, my skin is black upon me. Go ahead.
And my bones are burned with heat.
So, again, these are scriptures that you have never been read in the Christian church. We have never been taught these scriptures in the Christian church, because that would contradict with all nations. John 3:16, the wrong understanding of John 3:16, when we see that God loves everybody, because that's what we've been taught. Doesn't matter. When we ask the color of Christ, well, it doesn't really matter what he looks like. Okay, but if Christ was walking the earth today, they'd call him a nigga. Let's get that. Revelation 1. If Christ was walking the earth today, they would call him a nigga.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse, hold on, sorry, page is sticking. The book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
and his voice as the sound of many waters.
He had a deep voice, strong voice, powerful voice, like black men, speaking like a real man. But it says that he had woolly hair, right? Well, people on the earth today have woolly hair, and they call it not only do they call us niggas, but they say we got what, nappy hair, not woolly hair, not lamb's wool. They say we got kinky hair, we got nappy hair. You know, some more of those derogatory terms that they stick with us. All right, so let's see. I'm trying to get some more people up here. EJ, you got anything to add to that? I'm trying to get some more people up here on the stage.
Yeah, man. Hey, I was thinking about something you said earlier, man, about we was going into talking about the DNA test and things like that. Just going back to that, because I know we're talking about, who we are and what we look like. What's insane about that is we will believe anything that our enemies tell us, right? You gotta think about that. Like that makes no sense to me, to where you know that these people have lied to you from the beginning. And then they give you a nationality. Your enemies give you a nationality that our people actually agree with, and then they'll give you a false DNA test, or just something to say, okay, well, you from this many, you'll take a DNA test and they give you 18 different places where you could be from. You understand the confusion behind that? That goes right back to what Samurai was bringing out earlier. Go back to Psalms 83 real quick and read verse, I think it's 3, because that, to me, that's insane that you would take a DNA test and it say you're from 8 countries. Our people don't even consider that that's madness. That's nonsense. Why? Because we've been deceived. We've been lied to so much that we comfortable in it. We comfortable in the fact that these people can tell you who you are, and you'll never even think to question what they told you. You don't care. And then you'll have men come and bring you the Bible, literally the Bible that everybody in this room got in their house. They grew up with it. Big Mama had it on the kitchen table. Your mama had it. A lot of people's Bibles had dust on it. They wasn't opening it. You ain't even care about what was written in there, and consider what God said you were. Why? Because most of our people think that the so-called white man is God. So they go by what they say. If the DNA test say I got 8% German, 10% Irish, our people actually fall for that and go, yeah, and actually be happy that they, because they think they got some white in them. That's how deceived and far we fall in our understanding. Read that Psalms 83 real quick.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 3.
Yep.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
That's crafty as hell, man, to make you think your ass is part German and part Irish. You don't even know. And then on the flip side of that, outside of slavery, what did they tell you about your history? Nobody even questions that. They start from 1619 up. You don't know who you don't even question it. Read it again.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Uh-huh.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
That was the point of it, and guess what? Our people talking about they Irish right now. That's all I got to say on that. I'll mute my mic.
Hey, it's funny. I remember before, years before, I was watching a video. I think it was can't remember the group no more. I'll praise to the Most High. But Andre 3000, he was getting married in the video, and he had on one of those kilts, and he said, they said, "Why you wearing the dress?" He said, "My family part Irish or part Scottish or something like that." What you saying? And it's crazy how we'll magnify that. We'll magnify those parts of our what we perceive as our DNA, and not, the fact that we the Israelites. That's a heavy point there, EJ. Heavy point. All right, so we're gonna reset the room. Nigga, Negro, Afro American. Why so many names? So, if you got any comments, we invite you up to the stage. Got any questions? You can email us at biblicalsmoke@gmail.com. You can follow us. #biblicalsmoke on Twitter. All right. So, Samurai. What you got to add to this?
With that thing you was talking about just now, with Andre 3000, where's that scripture in Maccabees, second Maccabees, that talk about the love, the glory of the heathen?
Yes. Yeah. Glory of the second Maccabees 4. Let me make sure.
4:15. Yep, 4:15.
Yep. The book of Second Maccabees, chapter 4 and verse 15. Not setting by the honors of their fathers, but like in the glory of the Grecians best.
So that's the thing right there. They prefer to say that, okay, I'm 10% this, I'm 10% that. Dude, you black, you an Israelite. But because how Willie Lynch have shaped our brain in captivity, we suffer from Stockholm syndrome. So we look at it as an honor to say I have a little Irish in me, I have a little Italian in me. Meanwhile, you should be very, very unhappy about that thing, because you know what I'm saying, we were not supposed to mingle with these heathens at all. That's what the Bible told us. I mean, some people may not believe it, but let's read it real quick. Give me the book of Deuteronomy.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them.
Read on.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
So the Bible give us a direct law not to make marriages unto them. And you know the funny thing is, a lot of us who even claim we have a little Irish in us or this or that, we don't even have none of that in us. It's just we hate ourselves so much. We think by associating ourselves with them, that's gonna make us, look better in their eyes. Because to them, like, now you're saying like, okay, I'm denying my race. You black as hell, but you wanna be associated with Irish. So that means they like you more now because why? You become the perfect slave, which is their goal anyway. Because if you look at some, now actually finish this verse real quick.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter shalt thou not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
Keep reading.
For they will turn away thy son from following me.
That's the main thing. We're not supposed to be associating with them at all, because they will turn us from following the Lord. Now, think about a Negro who wants to be associated with the Irish, want to associate with the Chinese. What you think he's gonna? What God he think he's gonna serve? If a dude his whole life he just want to hang out with Chinese people and even move to China, you think that dude even want to know that Christ is a black man? No, he'll fight tooth and nail for Buddha. He'll fight tooth and nail, and if he does accept quote unquote Jesus, we all know which Jesus he accepts, which is Caesar. He's gonna fight tooth and nail that all nation can be saved. That makes you the perfect slave, which is their goal anyway. Because look at this real quick. Go to Ezekiel. Because when you look at, I'm gonna read a list of names, right? Because I have the picture. That starts from the 1600s to now to 1990s and now. We have savages, natives, niggers, darkies, pickaninnies, coons, spooks, boy, colored, right, and Negroes. Up to that point, those names are derogatory, right? But in the 70s, we brothers. That sounds somewhat cool. That look like, you know what I'm saying? We're trying to find our little identity. from brothers, we're like, you know what? I mean, you cannot be a nation of brothers since we all black. Let's call us blacks. So, in a sense, it associate with the scripture real quick. I'm gonna make a point. Ezekiel 37, verse 7.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 37 and verse 7. So I prophesied as I was commanded.
Yeah, go ahead, finish. Yeah, just 7.
Okay. So I prophesied as I was commanded. And as I prophesied, there was a noise. And behold, a shaking. And the bones came together, bone to his bone.
So, actually, now I wanted to start further up. Sorry. Start at 6.
Verse 6. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 37 and verse 6. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live. And ye shall know that I am the Lord. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone.
So now we know that's talking about the valley of dry bones, right? We live in the valley of the dry bones. So the prophecy was that he's gonna put flesh up on us. But after all this is done, then the breath will come. In the 60s, the flesh came. We start trying to find out our identities. That's what we got into the brothers and the blacks. So as they see that's happening, what did they do? They give us something we've been searching for since we've been in America. We wanted to be called Americans. You follow? But, to distinguish them from us, they give us African American, which we gladly accepted because in our head, we finally made it. We finally become Americans, not realizing we just went down another hole of confusion. That's still part of the crafty council because they realized we were waking up. We just didn't have the breath yet, so they give us another name to keep us confused. And many of us love it because, believe it or not, a lot of us just want to be recognized as Americans. That's it. We want to be accepted. And that's why they give us that name, and that name has been stuck. Like, that's the good one. It's been stuck for a minute now. And they killed the leaders that was starting to rise up. But all praise to the Most High God, he saved the prophets for last. Now, in the 2000s and 2020, what are we doing? We're waking up the people to their true identity, and they're pissed off as hell because why? We're freeing the slaves from mental captivity. I'm gonna mute my mic.
Hey Cam, can I make a quick comment? Yeah, go ahead. Hey, so I was just thinking as Samurai was bringing that out, I was thinking about, like, if you look at nigger, Negro, and Afro American, it's no different than when we embrace Jones, Johnson, and Williams. That's what I was just thinking about. Let me get this real quick. Deuteronomy 28, and let's get 37, because that's essentially when and what I'm about to say is that everyone that does that family reunion thing, you're embracing nigger, Negro, and African American. That's because people be getting so proud and happy about them. Those shirts, those matching shirts with the trees, with the names. It's no different than being called a nigger. But go ahead, read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 37.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
Hey, guess what? And that happened because of this. Let's get this real quick. Hosea chapter 2 verse 7. 2 verse 7. Look, the thing is, just to break that down a little bit, that byword and the byword that we're being called is anything that's outside of being called a child of God and a child of Israel from the line of Jacob. So if we're called anything outside of that thing, that's disrespect. So when you embrace like Johnson, African American, or Afro American, that's a sign of disrespect that the oppressor has put on us, where we embrace those things. Read that real quick. And this is something we keep doing. We keep following them and loving this thing. Read.
The book of Hosea, chapter 2 and verse 7. and she shall follow after her lovers.
This is us. This is the children of Israel. Guess what we did? We followed after our lovers, which is the nations. All right, read.
But she shall not overtake them.
Keep going.
And she shall seek them, but shall not find them.
When it's a time for need, that's when we get our ass beat in the street, seeking for a nation that cannot save us. That's what this is. And that same mind that we have right here is the same mind that we have today. Let's read a couple more and then we're done. Finish that out.
But shall not find them. Then shall she say, I will go and return to my first husband.
All right, we can stop right there. We're gonna stop right there because it gets in a little bit deeper. But that's how I equate it. I equate that that our people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native American, us loving those last names that we have. Guess what? It's no different than being called a nigga, Negro, or African American. I'll just mute my mic on that.
Yeah, but you know what? No matter what those terms are, we still get treated the same. The same oppression. Tony, welcome to the stage. Nigga, Negro, Afro American. Why so many names? What you think about the topic tonight, Tony?
Why so many names? I agree with they just trying to confuse us.
Yeah, they are trying to confuse us. Hey, and I don't know if any of y'all paid attention when I said that we still get treated the same. We still under the same oppression. Down in Florida, I'm trying to think if it was in Tampa. A sister dating Edomite, a so-called white boy. He killed her, and I think they found her body right outside his backyard a little bit. But growing up, I remember hearing the young black women saying that it was better to date white boys because they'd treat you better. But yet we see that, she got treated like a nigga. Just like if y'all remember that football player. Remember was it last year the like he was an N or something. One big dude. Beat the hell out the sister and then sat down and ate a bowl of cereal. He thought she was dead. Y'all remember that history?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I think he was on the Giants. I can't remember his name. I think it was something like that. I remember
big old, like 6'7", 300-pound,
long hair.
Yeah. Beat her damn near beat her to death. Sat down. She bleeding on the floor, and he sat down and ate a bowl of breakfast. Hey, they don't have to call you a nigga to treat you like a nigga. So we still under that same oppression. You gonna say something else?
No, I was just agreeing with you. I was agreeing with you 100%.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, what do you think about that aspect of it? Okay, so why so many name changes, but yet when you look at our behavior, when you look at the things that we do, when you look at us like getting into interracial marriages and things of that nature, I remember in the class coming out where the black woman was complaining about, her husband calling her niggas, but yet she ain't want to leave. So we it's not just the names, it's not just the derogatory terms, but it's the way we get treated.
I have a question.
Yeah, what's your question, sis?
Yeah, I want to ask, like, since we have been like under the Babylonian captivity, are we still like under the curses from like our disobedience? Like today, like in 2021, are we still under the curses, or have the curses been lifted?
Absolutely. EJ, Mish, Dion, what do y'all want to deal with that?
Nothing. No comment. Okay.
Yeah, we under the curses, sis. We under the curses.
Okay.
Consider the fact, for instance. Let me get Isaiah 3. Consider the fact that our people are leading the nation in what single mother households. Yes or no?
Yes.
Facts.
Right. Right. What's that a condition of?
You said what is it a condition of?
Right. What's the condition of?
Condition.
I don't understand your question.
Why do you think it's so many single family houses run by women in our community?
Like I said, from the beginning, not trying to sound harsh, that we're under the curses for our disobedience, and it talks about, I think, in the book of Deuteronomy, it says that our families will be split and it will be disorder in the family. The Israelite family, it wouldn't be the same because of our disobedience. So, in going into slavery and having that traumatic experience, that wasn't our first time being in captivity, but just the spiritual damage from slavery and being under the curses is why the black family and the Israelite family is out of order.
Okay, so let me ask it like this. Well, let's go there. Let's read it first, and then I'm gonna explain something to you.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 3 and verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
As for my people, children are their oppressors.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Today there was, who was the brother Slim? What do you call the rapper?
Slim 400.
Slim 400. Yeah, who knows about him? You know, I'm a little older, so I ain't too familiar
No,
with these
I don't know
brothers.
who
But
that
Yeah, that's
is.
one of the homies.
yeah, so he got murdered today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was caught on video by probably another young brother. But read that again.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 3 and verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
As for my people,
Mm-hmm.
children are their oppressors.
Children are their oppressors. Why do we treat each other like this, sis? We got a lot of us were raised without our fathers. We were raised without that discipline in the house.
Right.
Right? All right, read on.
And women rule over them.
And who rules over us?
Women rule over them.
Single mother run households. Go ahead, read on.
O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err.
So those women that are in a position of authority cause the young men to err. Go ahead.
And destroy the way of thy paths.
And destroy the way of their paths. Okay, now let me ask you this. Is that still happening in 2021?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So you asked if we still under the curses. Absolutely, we still under the curses. Now, this brother killed one of his brothers. What's going to happen to him? The murderer. Where he going?
He's going into captivity. He's going to jail.
Locked up, right? He's
Right.
going to go to jail. Locked up, right? Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 41. So these women that cause the young men to err and destroy the way to their paths, now we've got a system full of young men that have records. The prison system continues to grow, right? Filled with black and brown faces. Read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
For they shall go into captivity. Why? Because our sons, they don't have any direction. Our daughters, they don't have any direction. Because what did the Lord say should be the structure of the house? What should be the foundation? Marriage, right?
Right.
Right. Let's get that. Hebrews. Let's get that.
Yes, sir.
Marriage should be the foundation because that father needs to be in the house to bring that order and that discipline. Let's read that.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers God will judge.
You see that? So that judgment is upon our nation today because of our disobedience. We don't like to marry. Do you see that in our communities today, sis?
No.
Yeah, we don't like to marry. That's why we have these bywords. Now we looking the topic nigga, Negro, Afro American, but that's a byword, right? Those are bywords, right? But there's
Right,
other
correct.
bywords. Thought, it's a byword, right? That hole over there.
Thug.
Yeah, you see that? You see that?
Right.
So we absolutely up under the curses tonight, to this day. All right, absolutely. All right, so let's see. Yeah, EJ, can you hold it? Or Miss, can you hold it down for a minute? Give me about 30 seconds.
Yes, sir. Hey, so as you see, y'all, our name been changed so many times, we can't even see straight. And so, that's why the Bible is so important for us to bring these scriptures out so we can see who we are in the Bible so we can come back to our God-given name. I seen we had a brother Tony on stage. Did you have something to say? You want to say, brother Tony?
No, I'm really just trying to take everything in right now.
All right, all right. Hey, well, listen. Make sure y'all, support Biblical Smoke. Email the moderators. Check us out. We're trying to bring this understanding out who we are tonight on Biblical Smoke. And one thing I want to bring out, if y'all remember the movie Roots, Roots was a heavy movie, and one of the most memorable scenes that they had is when Kunta was getting his name beat out of him. And Esau know when he put these movies out, he put it in books. He try to hide who we are in plain sight. So it's important for us to, come back to this Bible and start reading the scriptures. So when we start reading the scriptures, we know Deuteronomy 28 is talking about us. Because like Summarize said earlier tonight, if we don't know who we are when we read the scriptures, we won't know that it's talking about us. So it's important for us to know who we are. All right. Anybody else got anything they want to speak on that?
Hey, if I may say, give me Deuteronomy 28:37 real quick.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations whither the Lord shall lead thee.
So the Bible already prophesied that's what's going to happen. Everywhere we go, we're going to be known by proverbs and bywords and scornful nicknames. Niggas, monkeys, coons, right? But why all this happened? Because what? We disobey God's laws. So any church that's teaching that God's laws is done away with, what is that church trying to uphold? The philosophy of this system right here. Because when you look at Christianity, what church do you go to and they tell you, "Now you're not a nigga, you are, how you say, you are of the nation of Israel." How many church teach that? Not many. You follow? They teach you that it's okay to accept what Master has given you. They're upholding the system. I'm gonna mute my mic.
And thanks, Shelton, for the lifeline.
Praise it.